How the World Really Works, Summary and Analysis. By Daniel. Vaclav Smil's book, How the World Really Works, provides a comprehensive, insightful look into the foundational processes that sustain modern civilization. Smil argues forcefully that despite technological optimism and idealistic visions, humanity remains deeply dependent on physical realities such as energy, food, materials, and global interconnectedness. At the outset, Smil emphasizes the critical need for understanding how modern systems function. In an era characterized by hyperspecialization, he argues that most people have become disconnected from essential processes that underpin everyday life, such as energy production, food cultivation, and the manufacturing of indispensable materials like steel and concrete. The book serves as a powerful antidote to widespread ignorance, offering clear insights into the mechanics of civilization's vital systems. Energy, Smil points out, is the fundamental currency of life. Our modern world is intricately dependent on fossil fuels, oil, coal, and natural gas, which provide the dense energy required to sustain economic growth, agricultural productivity, and technological advancement. Despite increasing awareness of renewable energy sources such as wind and solar power, Smil is skeptical of claims that we can quickly transition away from fossil fuels. He systematically dismantles oversimplified narratives, highlighting the challenges involved in decarbonizing global economies, especially given the essential roles that fossil fuels play in sectors like transportation, agriculture, and heavy industry. One crucial insight Smil offers is that modern agriculture is essentially a process of converting fossil fuels into food. This startling but accurate observation underpins his discussion on the critical role of ammonia fertilizers, derived from natural gas, in supporting global food production. Smil details the astounding efficiency with which fossil energy is converted into food energy, arguing that current methods of agriculture simply cannot be sustained without continued fossil fuel inputs. As global populations rise, Smil's analysis presents a stark dilemma. Either we maintain fossil fuel usage or face severe food shortages. Alternative methods, such as organic farming or urban vertical farms, he argues, cannot realistically sustain the world's growing populations without significant breakthroughs in technology. Smil further explores humanity's reliance on four key materials he calls the pillars of modern civilization: steel, cement, ammonia, and plastics. Each material indispensable for construction, infrastructure, agriculture, and manufacturing is produced via processes heavily reliant on fossil fuels, highlighting again how deeply embedded these energy sources are in modern life. Concrete, for instance, is fundamental to global urbanization, yet its production is intensely energy-intensive and carbon-emitting. Steel similarly underpins virtually every aspect of infrastructure and manufacturing, yet it too is bound by energy-intensive processes. Plastics, derived from oil and natural gas, permeate every sector of daily life, from medical equipment to packaging. Smil argues that imagining a near future where these materials are no longer necessary or have significantly diminished roles is unrealistic, given current technological constraints. The book also delves into globalization, offering a historical and contemporary overview. Smil highlights how globalization, driven primarily by fossil fuel-powered transportation and digital communication, is neither inevitable nor irreversible. He cautions readers against assuming continuous global interconnectedness, pointing to recent political and economic shifts toward nationalism and protectionism. Smil emphasizes that globalization's continuation is contingent on stable, affordable energy supplies and geopolitical cooperation, both increasingly uncertain in today's world. Risk management is another central theme of Smil's analysis. He challenges common perceptions of risk, pointing out the human tendency to vastly underestimate or overestimate threats. Smil provides clear-headed analyses of various risks, from pandemics to solar flares, arguing that modern societies have reduced many historical threats yet remain vulnerable due to complacency and misunderstanding. His discussion of the COVID-19 pandemic underscores the critical importance of reliable information and the complexities inherent in global responses to crises. According to Smil, effective risk management requires informed public and realistic expectations, neither excessively fearful nor naively optimistic. Environmental concerns are treated extensively, with Smil particularly addressing climate change and sustainability. He critiques overly simplistic solutions like rapid decarbonization, pointing out the scale of infrastructure change and energy storage required to transition fully to renewable energies. Smil presents climate change not as a newly discovered threat, but as a well-understood phenomenon whose solutions have long been ignored in favor of short-term economic gains. He stresses that addressing climate change realistically involves difficult choices, including significant lifestyle and consumption changes, substantial technological innovations, and an acceptance of short- and medium-term reliance on fossil fuels. Finally, Smil reflects on humanity's future, positioned between extremes of catastrophic pessimism and techno-optimistic utopianism. He dismisses apocalyptic predictions of imminent societal collapse as unfounded, but equally critiques those who believe technology alone will solve humanity's most pressing problems. Smil advocates for a balanced, pragmatic approach that recognizes both our substantial technological capabilities and the real physical constraints of energy, materials, and environmental sustainability. Smil's core argument is a plea for realism and humility in the face of complex global challenges. He calls for greater public understanding of basic scientific and economic realities, emphasizing that meaningful progress toward sustainability and resilience can only occur if societies grasp how dependent they are on fossil fuels and key materials. Smil suggests that real solutions require significant, gradual changes supported by widespread awareness and acceptance of complexity. Overall, How the World Really Works is an urgent call to reconnect with the foundational processes and materials that underpin our world. It insists that without understanding these fundamentals, society risks making uninformed, potentially disastrous decisions. Smil's analysis is rigorous, well supported by data, and deeply critical of simplistic solutions to complex problems. He argues convincingly for a careful reassessment of global priorities, grounded in scientific realism rather than wishful thinking. For readers seeking clarity in a world frequently obscured by misinformation, Smil's book is essential. It compels a re-examination of everyday assumptions about energy, materials, agriculture, globalization, risks, and the environment, offering invaluable insights that are both intellectually rewarding and practically vital. Ultimately, Smil's work stands as a sobering reminder that meaningful change requires a profound understanding of how the world really works, not how we might wish it to be.